So, Sam, welcome to the show. Good to have you.
I'm glad to be here.
Good.
I'm glad to be here.
Glad to be here. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Good actor voice.
Yeah.
So, Sam,
Yes.
how did you end up where you are now? Where are you from? How'd you get to be here in Utah?
Well, I was born in Utah.
That helps.
Yeah, it helps. And then my dad's a doctor, and so we moved all over the United States, and then we came back here because that's where we all wanted to be.
Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. You lived in a lot of different places, huh?
Yeah, so I've lived in New York and Massachusetts and Indiana. It's really hot there.
Okay.
It's like super humid and muggy.
How come you got to end up here in Utah? How did that happen?
Well, my dad just got a job, and then we moved, and that's just where we started. We were living with my mom's parents in Lakeshore. Do you know Lakeshore?
No, what?
So like West Mountain.
Oh, that's in
We
Utah.
like lived on West Mountain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's where we were living. We were living with them, and then we moved into Spanish Fork, and that's when I started going to ALA.
Yeah, Sam and I went to high school together. Another great ALA king.
Well, like I saw you doing like soccer and stuff because I went to some of the soccer games, but we never really met until your senior year, right?
Like show choir and stuff?
Yeah.
We weren't friends till senior year, bro. That's so tough. I feel like you're my friend through all of high school. I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I think we met your senior year.
Okay, awesome. Which would be
It was
your
a
junior
party.
year.
Yeah.
Do you remember we made those videos about fidget spinners?
I
Dude?
was gonna bring that up. Do you have them still?
They're probably deep in my photos somewhere. Maybe I'll post it on the gram sometime.
You probably like sent them to me on like Messenger or something. Yeah. I'll have to find them because they're freaking.
They're so funny. I don't know what kind of class that was for. If it was just for fun one day, but
I don't. Well, that was during the time when like fidget spinners became a thing.
Yeah.
And then
fidget spinners came out.
And I think we were just like mocking everyone that was using them because they were so ridiculous.
Sounds like something we do. That makes
Yeah.
sense. So why are you still in Utah? You've been everywhere. Why do you stay here?
Well, I'm going to school, so I'm at U of U right now.
Okay.
I'm doing mechanical engineering. Did I tell you that?
I did not know that, but I know you're like really good at welding.
Yeah, so I'm actually still doing that. That's where I was just now.
Okay, so you still weld?
Okay. But I've actually been doing a lot of like engineering stuff on the side as well. So like the company I work for, I do a lot of computer aided design. If you know what that is, like 3D drawings.
Way cool.
Yeah, it's fun. So I get to like build basically tanks on a computer, and then we like get all the parts and we build them in the shop. So like I draw it up, I get the right specs and whatnot. It's fun.
Way
yeah.
cool. Okay. Dang. Is that kind of what you want to do for a career? You think?
No, I don't want to really. Well, it's a good skill to have because you like in engineering you use CAD all the time. That's kind of what people call it. It's CAD.
Okay.
And I want to get into more of controls. So like you probably don't know what programmable logic controllers. They're basically big automation little computers that you program certain robotic things to do.
Okay.
Or all kinds of sensors and stuff. So that's kind of the direction I'm going.
Sounds like the intersection of engineering, maybe some physics, computer programming,
Oh, yeah.
all that kind of goes into it. Is that
Yep.
what you're up to?
Yep, and I'm getting my degree in mechanical engineering right now.
Very cool, dude. Okay. So tell me about your family. Where do you fit in? What are they all up to?
Where do I fit in?
Yeah, like are you oldest, youngest?
Yeah, I'm the oldest. Do you remember?
No, isn't Julia the oldest?
No.
Really? Oh, that's awkward, dude. I don't know why. I remember you and Julia. I remember... Oh, yeah, Adam, duh. I remember you had a little sister, Josie, and I think you had another one.
Yeah, Mia.
Mia.
Oh, I'm surprised you remember all their names. I like barely met your family. I met your mom once. She's like, oh, you're one of those show choir kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
So yeah, I'm oldest, and then there's Julia, and then Adam. So they're like, so 2 years in between me and Julia, and then 3 years between Julia and Adam. And then there's like an 8-year gap. And then Mia and Josie after that. Julia, she's living in Connecticut with her husband.
Connecticut.
Yeah, it's fun. And then Adam's actually really getting into theater stuff.
I see him posting stuff. He does like the thing at Sundance.
Yeah, he did Newsies. But he's done some community theater stuff. He's really good, actually.
Yeah, 100%.
I kind of went away from the theater, zone, and Adam went towards it. So it was kind of fun that someone's still in it. But
Yeah. All right, so back to Utah. Sam, what's your favorite and least favorite thing about the great state of Utah?
Favorite thing? I really like just doing outdoor stuff. That's been really fun. I think, you know what? As I've been around, like, all over the United States, I've noticed something about Utah. There's so much convenience. Like, Utah has all kinds of everything.
What do you mean, convenience?
So, like, if you want to go do something, Utah has pretty much everything.
Okay.
Like, you know, you go up to, like, Idaho or you go to freaking Kansas. There's just, like, not as much stuff to do. Like, Utah has stuff to do. Like, you never can get bored in Utah. And it's just fun to look at. It's pretty. It's just a good place to live in, I think, just with stuff to, like.
Okay. I was going to ask you that, too, is like, do you like living in Utah? Sounds like you do.
I do, yeah. We're actually going to move up to Idaho.
That's because there's the business up there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so my wife runs a race car business.
So dope, dude. A race car business? That sounds so dope, dude.
Yeah, it's fun. So basically it's just like people, so they rent out tracks and they pay for the insurance, you know, all these, they pay for all kinds of different things. And can't really list them all right now.
Sure.
But basically, like, people just pay the money and they host the event. So they don't even own the track, but they have the client list. Everyone goes to bring their fun car and they go as fast as they want. They get training. So that's the thing that they provide that's really good, is they have really good, like, personal training on how to drive your vehicle.
That's so cool.
And they're one of the better ones. That's at least because they're up in the Pacific Northwest. So there's quite a bit of tracks and they're really good with their training. And then they don't let you go into advanced groups until they, like, say you have to be perfect, basically.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah. So they have very clean groups.
Can your wife drive?
Yeah, she's really good. She's a lot better than me.
Have you been to, like, NASCAR before, though?
No. Okay, so I gotta be honest with you. That's pretty boring.
Okay.
Just like go around in a toilet bowl. It's just like
Okay, so you're not as big of a fan of it.
F1 though.
F1's cool.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. It's a lot more dynamic and
Yeah.
more fun to watch.
Well, yeah, the tracks are a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to NASCAR.
Oh, you did?
Once, because I was living in New Hampshire for a summer, and
Were you doing sales?
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. And they have, like, I mean, I don't really know all about how NASCAR works, but they have, like, a bunch of, like, specific tracks. They have, like, the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. They've got one in, like, Las Vegas, like the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I don't know, stuff like that all over. And they had one up there, and one of my friends won tickets to it, but didn't want it. He's like, "You want it?" I'm like, "Sure." So we went, and dude, I'll tell you, it is, like, the most American thing to ever exist. It's just like the movie Cars to me,
Yes.
where, like, we parked our car. I think we had to take a shuttle, or maybe not, up to the actual, like, racetrack area, and we walked through, like, a mile of, like, campers and people who, I guess, drive across the country to come to these things, like their
cool.
RVs or whatever. People are so nice. Like, "Hey, you want a beer? You want a hot dog? Hey, what's up, bro?" But they're also, like, you know, a lot of stereotypes of, like, "Hey, y'all," that, you know what I mean? And dude, we get there and it's like, yeah, I don't know, just the most American thing, just insanely loud. This one guy was nice. He's like, "You need some earplugs, brother." And he gave me some earplugs. I'm like, "Thanks." They put them in. I'm like, "Oh my gosh." And he's like, "Just you wait." He's like, "Is this your first time?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Just you wait. When they get going after a while, man, it's like a vortex because you got cars all over the track spinning fast. The sound is just crazy." I'm like, "Okay, cool." It was just whatever. We left early, but it was cool. I think I got, like, a T-shirt or a hat or something like that. But
Were you like in the middle of it? Like, did you go into the middle part, or were you like
we
watching?
were on no. Like if it was like a football field, the 50-yard line. No, it was
Okay.
like one of the end zone kind of areas, I guess. Or a
Oh,
corner.
cool.
So it was on one of those ends. like we were there, like, when the cars are all lined up to go, we were, like, straight across from them, kind of.
Oh,
like,
cool.
Watching them come at us and then take the corner. So we were kind of by, like, one of the turns.
Way cool.
But yeah, it was fun. It was weird. I don't know.
Weird.
I probably wouldn't go again, but a lot of passionate people. I don't know. It was interesting. So you're moving to Idaho, huh?
Yeah, that's plan. Just for her to do her thing.
Okay.
I gotta find a job up there. I really don't know what I'm gonna do, but yeah.
How close are you to your degree? You gonna finish your degree out here at UVU? Or are you gonna do it up there? Or?
Yeah. I got 3 more semesters.
Very good. Okay. Well, what do you think the biggest weakness of Utah is? Least favorite thing about Utah?
There's too many people moving here, dude.
Too big, dude.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. Were you traveling at Christmas time at all?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Just
like the
across-
week before Christmas, it was crazy. It took me like over 2 hours to get from Spanish Fork to Salt Lake.
No way.
Yeah,
Like the freeway was just
crazy.
like bad accidents, or was it
Yeah,
just
there was like 8 accidents all the way up.
Was it
And it was,
snowy
I
or
think
just...
no, that was weird. Okay, I think that's one of my least favorite things about Utah. Like the drivers suck; they're just
Yeah.
terrible.
driving? It can be brutal.
Yeah, people just don't know what they're doing. I wonder if it's because like we have so many young people in Utah, and so you get so many young drivers, and
Well, especially Utah County. 'Cause I
Yeah.
used to live in Layton, right, in Davis County, and the average age down here is just way lower. There's a lot more young people, young families, you know, and so I think that too. There's a lot more young people just like weaving traffic just to get the same red light as me, and I'm like, "What's up, dude?" Like, it's just so stupid sometimes. But yeah, 2 hours is brutal though, man. Wow,
Yeah.
Spanish Fork
it
to
was
Salt Lake.
crazy. And you know what? I think it was from Provo to Salt Lake that we started our clock. Just crazy.
Okay, what drives me nuts, dude, is I think it's just so funny. People, and when it comes to like the really bad speeders, which I feel like you cannot go on a drive on the freeway without running into at least one or two like the really bad speeders. You know what I mean? I think like it's weird how in their mind they're like, yeah, I have no problem going 100 miles an hour and weaving traffic, but one thing I'll never do is cross into the HOV. That's just like, that's illegal. That's bad. And I'm like, because I'll be in the HOV lane and I'll see a guy like zoom, kind of zoom traffic, and I'm just in the HOV lane. And then later he's stuck behind someone and I pass him and then he weaves around again. I'm like, bro, I feel
It's
like,
not gonna make any difference for you.
I
to
know.
do that
I'm just
crap.
like, I feel like if you're gonna like break the law and try to get somewhere faster, why are you so afraid to cross the double white HOV line, but
Yeah.
you're not afraid to go 100 miles an
An
hour?
hour,
It's
yeah.
just funny to me. I'm like, both of them are illegal. Both of them are bad. But for some reason, like you're gonna pick the more dangerous route of like weaving traffic than just I don't know.
Just
Anyway,
wants to live on the edge.
it's just weird, dude. I don't know. Anyway, what does your wife? Is she like that because she likes the race cars? Is she kind of like likes to cut up traffic at all? Or
She's very good at like doing that.
she's good. Yeah. Well, I was
But, and she's professional about it too, because
Oh, yeah.
she can get right up to your tail, and she just will do, can't really explain that. Like
she gets it all the math down in her head or whatever.
she's really good at just driving up close, like being an aggressive driver. She's good at that.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too is
You shouldn't really do that.
I don't know, dude. The fast lane makes me mad. It's like there's people who don't understand like
That's the fast lane.
the HOV lane is not the fast lane.
Right.
The lane right next to the HOV lane, that's the fast lane. And if someone's on your tail, you need to
Pull
move
over.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
like it's so annoying, dude. I don't know. People don't get that. But
What's the difference between like the passing lane and the fast lane?
I think it's the same thing.
The same thing.
I think
Okay, that's what I
I
thought.
think people use those terms interchangeably. The fast lane and the passing lane, same thing.
It's annoying to like be on the passing lane for me, like when I'm trying to pass people, and then there's someone going like 70 miles an hour.
Oh yeah, no, they shouldn't be there. And that's the thing too is generally speaking, it's the leftmost lane, right, on any road. But
When you have the HOV lane,
yes, on the interstate, there's the HOV lane. That is not the fast lane. So it's the lane right next to it. And so sometimes I'm in the HOV lane and some dude's like chomping at me. I'm like, sorry, bro. Like, this is not the fast lane. Like, sucks, but like, I'm not gonna get over it. I don't know. But
I always like to ask people like, do you have like a dream car?
dude, I don't think I have a dream car. I mean, maybe. It's very it's a very what's the word? Divisive topic, but probably a Cybertruck, bro. Half the people are like, yeah, that's cool. Half the people are like, you are not even a real man. You're a piece of crap. But I don't know. I think they're cool. It's like they're like bulletproof. They weigh like I don't know how many tons, and they go 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds. I'm like, that's just crazy.
Have you seen that video of the Cybertruck versus like the Ford?
On the track.
No, they tie basically a rope on the hitches, on the back of each of the hitches, and then they just like they send it, and it's like a tug of war thing, and it just is not even like a fair like, freaking the Cybertruck just freaking the Ford's like like going as crazy as they can.
I mean, it's like people, air quotes. It's not a real truck, but I just think it's cool, bro. Just those like specs alone, like 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, weighs like I don't know how many thousands of pounds, and is bulletproof. I'm like, that just sounds like such a dope car. People think it's ugly.
Cool.
I think it's kind of cool. I don't know, man. I think it's kind of cool looking, but that's just me. So probably I'd say Cybertruck.
Okay.
But that's coming from someone who like is really not knowledgeable in the car space.
That's okay. You know what though? I have respect for people who like Cybertrucks.
Okay.
Like,
thank you.
there are people that just like hate on Tesla so much. I don't get that. I don't get that because of like I'm a big Elon Musk fan.
Okay.
And I think that he's doing a lot of really amazing things. And you know, the thing that like people I don't think really understand is like Tesla's only been around for like not even like before 2000 they weren't a thing. And so the fact that they've got this far, I think says a lot. Yeah. And Elon's actually like, you know, you have all these like people like complaining about the environment and then they just like hate Tesla. You know, I think Tesla's doing a good job. But, you know, respect to them.
So what's your favorite car then?
I'm a big Audi fan, but people also hate Audi too.
Really? Why?
Because they're pretty difficult to work on.
Oh, I'm aloof from that whole space. I didn't know that. Well, I know the Audi R8. It's like a super cool car. I've heard of that one. I've played a couple of racing video games and stuff.
Yeah, it's cool. Have you ever played Forza?
Yeah, where it has like the little line that kind of. That's like a real racing game. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit. I've played it, but I'm more of a Need for Speed, not that realistic.
Yeah.
Kind of go over jumps and cop cars. Again, not a car guy, so Forza's probably for you. All right, Sam. So, do you call me Sam or Samuel? People call you Sam, right?
I don't really care. I just like whatever people want to call me. I don't give a crap.
Hey, idiot. So, thinking about all the people in your life, who has inspired you the most and why?
I feel like there's not just one person. I don't know. I don't have one specific person. You know.
Sure.
I feel like my parents have been very inspiring to me. My wife, I think, has really changed me in a positive way. Yeah, like if we're talking about most influential, I'd say those three. I feel like there's not, I don't know, I think there's a lot of people that have really helped me to get where I'm at.
Yeah.
But I think the inspirational, like, parents and my wife, definitely the best.
Very lucky to have people like that in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're young, dude. We're in like our 20s, but if you could go back in time and give yourself advice, what point in time would you go to, and what would you say?
Probably go back to my high school, and I'd probably say, dude, just listen to your parents. Yeah, like I think I'm learning more and more about that because I feel like I'm getting closer to the point where like we're gonna have kids, you know, me and my wife, and so. I think the older I get, the more I'm like, man, I think my parents were trying to do the right thing. And I just like, I never really thought about a lot of things that they did. I just got mad, you know? And so I think if I would have gone back and told myself, just chillax with your parents. Like, it's going to be okay. They're trying to help you. So you should do your best to listen to them.
Great advice, dude.
Yeah.
If money wasn't an object, what would you do with your time?
That's a fun question. I think I'd want to just like build cool stuff in my garage, like, so, you know, electronic things that are cool. I think give, like, because I'd want kids and I want to give them opportunities to learn, so I'd probably want to like build opportunities for them to, you know, play and be just with hands-on stuff. I think that would be cool.
Are you a fan of, you know, Mark Rober?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. He has like the cool, like, what's it called, kits for kids, like the Crunch Labs or whatever. I don't know if you've heard of that, but it's like a mail subscription service where he mails you like things that you build and assemble. I think that's so cool.
Didn't he go to BYU?
Yeah, he could graduate from BYU.
Yeah, because my cousin's husband. Oh, I know. So he's mechanical engineering. So he's actually a mechanical engineer.
Okay.
Mark Rober.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Something like that.
I think he's a mechanical engineer. But anyways, so he actually came back to BYU and worked with him, and he was telling me a little bit about what it was like to work with him, and they were like doing a whole research project about like building like the smallest Nerf gun. Yeah,
I've seen videos of that.
He worked with the BYU mechanical engineering department. At least them, maybe more. That's pretty cool. Like, and he was telling me about like how fun it was to work with him. Anyways, yeah, he's cool. So yeah, that kind of stuff for sure.
I think Mark Rober was like the perfect combination of like competence. Like he's very smart
Mm-hmm.
and like warmth. Like he's just like a nice, approachable guy that you never have to worry about. You know what I mean? That's what someone I interviewed on my podcast before said how he defines charisma is like Riz, you know. But it's like just competence, like you know what you're talking about, and warmth. You're just like a very approachable person. I don't know. I think that's cool about him and stuff.
Yeah.
So. I don't know why I brought that up, but oh yeah, his Crunch Lab thing. In your life, Sam, how has faith or belief in a higher power impacted your life, if at all?
That is a big question. I think if I were to make it general, I think it gives me an opportunity to step back and just look at bigger pictures, and I think it's really helped me to have a perspective on life that I think is crucial to my growth. I don't know how to put that in.
Sounds like, so what I'm hearing is perspective and stepping back and bigger picture.
Yeah, bigger picture for sure. I think I don't know if this sounds like cliche or whatever. I think the more I see like chaos in my life and like with people around me, I think I'm just grateful for a direction to find answers. You know, because I often like ask myself like, if there wasn't like if you put it under a whole umbrella, if religion wasn't even a thing, what would I think about life? Like, where can you find? I took a philosophy class. Have you ever taken philosophy before?
No.
It's really weird to think about. I don't know why I kept taking that class, but like it really like made you think a lot. And it actually like made made me more grateful for my faith, and in a weird way, because I'm like, you know, what would life be like if you didn't have any kind of like what life is? I don't know. That is a very deep question.
Yeah, I can tell you have like poignant thoughts that you can't quite pin down. Kind of like
It's very broad, and I'm still trying to figure out myself like how I can to simplify my thoughts, because I think it's very difficult for me to
put it into words. But
yeah.
Sounds like it's a big part of your life, and it sounds like it's something you're grateful for.
Yeah.
That's the important part. That's good. Well, cool. What do you think your biggest fear is? The worst thing that could ever happen to you?
Man, I guess here's a fear.
Okay.
I think that just like I don't put enough effort into my career, and my career kind of just like my life just becomes really boring. You know?
That's valid. Yeah. Like knowing that you could have done more.
Yeah. Well, and maybe giving up on myself too, because, and I think I'm kind of going through that right now, because I feel like I'm getting this degree at school, and I'm also getting experience at work, and I think just trying to find where I want to go is tough right now, and especially if I'm going to a whole new state where I don't even know the area that well. Like, there's just a lot of unknowns in my life right now, and that's so scary. It's a weird time for sure. We just bought a house too.
What part of Idaho?
It's called Post Falls. So it's
Post Falls.
It's right next. Do you know where Coeur d'Alene is?
Nope.
So it's like very north, like Canada.
Really? Okay.
So that's where we are. So it's like a 12-hour drive. It's pretty crazy.
Really? From here?
Yeah. We just bought like a 4-bedroom townhome. It's pretty cool.
That's so sick, dude. Is it cheaper up there than here?
No.
Really? It's just as bad.
So yeah, I'm guessing like Idaho Falls would be a lot cheaper.
Okay.
I would imagine. But like, yeah, Coeur d'Alene is right next to, like Gonzaga University.
Yes. Yeah.
It's very close to Gonzaga.
Okay.
So it's a pretty boon area, and it's actually growing like just as fast as here.
Okay.
So there's kind of a big economy there, and so there's just I think that's a little scary to me too, because like there's just so much unknown about that up there. Sure. And so it's just like,
have you ever received any advice that's totally changed your life?
I recently received some advice that I thought was pretty interesting. It's been on my mind a lot, actually. But I just basically, like, at work, I'd been kind of having a tough time because I'd been like, man, I just keep messing stuff up, and I just feel bad because I'm wasting this person's time and all this stuff. And I was talking to one of my family members, and they're just like, who cares? Don't apologize. Just keep trying. And I was like, and I think there's a balance, but I think that's really good advice. And I've been thinking about that. I've been more confident at work. I got a raise like because of that, becoming more confident at work and
Like, stop trying to be so apologetic and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
yeah, and kind of like almost reserved. It's really been reserving for me. And so like just, not kind of forgiving yourself a little bit, just like, oops, move on,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Because I make a lot of mistakes at work. Like there's an opportunity for mistakes because we're building, custom fabrication for people, and so like it just stuff like that happens all the time, and so you just got to learn how to just kind of let go and do stuff. It's been really good. I think there's so much more I could expand on that, but
I get it. No, I think the idea of holding on to mistakes is something that I think most people are inclined to,
Yeah.
So being able to kind of let go, darn it, move on. You know what I mean? Like, don't give it more space than it needs. That's a great thought. What's something that you wish people knew about you? A lot of people. I actually have a huge audience in this podcast right now. So for
Really?
yeah, dude. Yeah. I haven't dropped any episodes yet at the time of this recording, but I promise, dude. By the time this hits the ears, it's going to be global.
Wow.
So for all the people out there who don't know you, or maybe for people who do know you, what's just one thing that you wish people knew about you that you don't often get to kind of communicate or say to their face?
I don't know. I'm chill.
The chill guy.
Well, no, I just like to hang out.
All
Be
right.
cool with me. I don't care.
Okay.
Do what you want.
Easy going. I like that. I think the same. I think I can pretty much get along with anybody. I don't know.
I've actually been saying that people just do whatever you want. Should I do this? No, do whatever you want.
Like, whatever you want, dude. It's not that deep. Like, chill.
Just saying, like, I don't care.
That's the one thing to know about Sam. He doesn't care, guys.
Just kidding. I do care. I do care.
You care. I don't care. No,
That's one thing you don't know about me, is I care.
You do care. Okay. Well, now I don't know what to believe.
That's right. That's exactly what I wanted to happen.
What does success mean to you?
That was a very broad question.
I know. They're open-ended.
Open-ended? Yeah. These are tough questions. These are good questions. I don't really, think about these things very often either, so I'm just like...
Yeah, I know. I think most of these questions, a lot of people don't keep on the forefront of their mind. It's just kind of like a moment to kind of look in and be like, what do I think about this,
Well, if I think about, my experiences when I do feel successful, I think it's when I have taken a problem that either someone has or I have and say, I'm going to learn about this thing. And I do my very best to, dive into information. And then I see, little bits of, I guess you could say fruits or, just, little things happen in your life.
Yeah.
And, that's because I did something that I told myself I was going to do. I think, going back to your fear question, I think one of my fears is that I get lazy, and I don't learn. I don't seek to do something new, and I think if I do that, I'm gonna get really bored. And I know that that's a simple word, bored, but I think boredom is scary to me. Really feeling like you're worthless and you can't really do much because there's not anything for you. So for me, success is when I do something that's difficult. I learn about something that's difficult for me that I would never have thought I would have been able to do. And I put the effort in and I see little successes. And I think that's really satisfying to me.
That is good, dude. I like that. So problem solving, learning new things, and then being able to see the fruits of that.
I think for instance, mechanical engineering, if I would have known what it would take to be a mechanical engineer, I would have been scared and said, I'm out. And I think there's a lot I didn't know about it. And so I just said, I'm going to learn about this one subject. For instance, physics was very difficult to learn. Have you ever taken physics before?
I took one, the most basic entry-level one you have to take to get your degree from BYU.
Okay.
So, I don't know a ton about physics, but just that
Yeah.
one class.
So I think I decided to, funny story about me, I was actually told that, I would not graduate high school because I was dumb. Yeah. Actually, someone...
By who and when?
Yeah. I won't say the company because I don't want to throw one under the bus. Yeah, actually, my mom went with me, and this lady actually told my mom's like, "You failed as a mom."
No way. Like a doctor or something?
I don't even know what this person was. They were supposed to like help me learn, like relearn.
How old were you when this all happened?
This was before high school, so like right before high school, like in junior high, or yeah, junior high, somewhere around junior high.
So you were told that you're too dumb you're not going to graduate high school.
Basically, yeah, basically like I don't have the skills to graduate high school. Yeah. And so that actually like kind of fired me up that day when she told me. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to take this thing cuz school was very scary to me. Like, you know, the fear of not passing classes, like that was a fear in me. And so I kind of took those little like, hey, you're not gonna be able to do this, and I just said I'm gonna do it. And I got a pretty great GPA in high school, and I think I worked really hard. So I think taking those things that I feel like, find the things that you're not confident in yourself with, and say, you know what, I'm gonna push myself a little bit and just try this one little thing. And I think that would be really, that would feel good if I got that done, you know what I mean?
Well, that sounds like, I think I know why you think that now. Is because you were told you can't do that. And then you lit a fire under you and you got it done. You graduated high school. You did well enough to go to college, you know, and like,
Yeah.
That's probably why learning new things is like what gives you so much satisfaction. It feels like success
It,
to you.
it does feel like success to me, for sure.
And that goes along with your biggest fears, being bored.
Yeah, I think feeling like I can't do something because I'm incapable of doing it, you know? So like taking opportunities to do things that scare you, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe that's cliche, but
No, that's a way cool perspective. I didn't know that about you, dude. That's crazy. Well, let's track down that company or whoever said that about you. We can go egg them, bro.
probably shouldn't put this on the podcast, but I'll look it up right now.
And they took you there because what, you had bad junior high grades or something?
I really struggle with reading.
Okay.
Wow, there's still a thing.
Go give them a 1 star, bro.
Wow, there is 0 reviews on it. That's interesting. Maybe I should give them a review.
That's very interesting. Well, dude, okay, so my funny story about physics, I was going to tell you. In my one physics class I took, right, we had 2 teachers because one of them was like just becoming a teacher. And so he was kind of teaching alongside the tenured professor or whatever who's been there for a while. It was kind of fun. There's just all kinds of little random experiments or whatever. You know, it's entry level. They're just trying to make it fun for kids to want to take more physics classes or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And one time there was this experiment, and I don't even know what they were trying to do, but one of the teachers was teaching and like lecturing with the PowerPoint and all that, while the other one was getting the experiment ready. And it was a giant glass jar that kind of came to a bottleneck at the top, kind of like, I don't know, this big, like, I don't know how to describe it to people listening, like maybe like the width of like a Coke can or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was big and round, like maybe as big as me, whatever. It came to the top, and they had from the bench like a tube with air going into it.
Oh,
So
I think I know what this is.
I don't know. I don't know what he was trying to do, like do some kind of air trick out of it or what. But the guy's just teaching while the other guy's standing on top of the workbench, and he's got the lid to this big jar thingy. And I mean big, dude. It's like several feet tall, several feet wide, whatever. And then he's got the hose with the air sticking in it with the lid, and he's like standing on it and he's pressing down. Like it's like really hard for him to keep it in. Like there's a lot of pressure building up in the jar. He's like holding on to it. And dude, I have never heard something so loud when it exploded, dude. And it was like out of a movie. It was like slow-mo. You just see the whole thing just whoosh, like explode. The teacher goes flying, like, I don't know if he tried jumping at the same time it exploded, but he like jumped into like the wall and like fell down behind the workbench. So none of us could see him. We just saw him boom. And then glass like shot out at the crowd. I was far enough back, it didn't hit me, but there were several kids who got like cut from glass, like bleeding. And it is just dead silence, dude. So super loud explosion, dead silence. And we're all just like, what do we do? Like we're all just like afraid to say anything. Someone's like, should we call 911? Like a couple kids run up to the front, and the other teacher who was teaching, he like turns around and goes to look at the other teacher, and he's like, oh, he's hurt pretty bad. And we're like,
whoa.
Yeah, we're like, what the heck? He's like, yeah, no. And then he's like got like the
my
microphone. He's like, I'm really sorry to end class like this, but obviously class is over. You guys can get out of here. We'll figure this out. Like, thanks. And it's like, dang. And there was already like 10 kids who ran up to the front, and I kind of wanted to look. I mean, I saw a couple kids bleeding and stuff from the cut, so I don't know what the teacher was like, but I kind of took the longer way out the classroom so I can kind of peek a glance. And I want to jump in and help. There's already 10 people helping. I'm just gonna be in the way, whatever. And they already had some like EMT people coming in from, I don't know, they probably have them stationed in all the buildings. I don't know.
Wow.
And he was like all bloody, and it looked like he was like unconscious. He's just kind of laying on the ground, like, ugh. I was like, dang, that was scary, dude. It was kind of like shaking. And then later that day, we get an email from the teacher. He's like, hey, guys. So it's funny because that day we were also preparing for like our exam to take in the testing center. He's like, hey, guys, I'm sorry that class is probably like a really traumatic ending. Like, just, you know, like he's okay. The ambulance came and took him to the hospital. And
Jeez, dude.
yeah.
Holy cow.
You're like, he's okay. Like, he's going to be fine. He's not going to come to class for a couple weeks probably. We'll let you know. Exam still opens today at 6 o'clock, so make sure you study. The exam closes on Tuesday. Good luck on the exam. But he's also like, there's also resources here at the school, you know, if that really did like, you know, like traumatize you, you can talk to people about it. I was like, dang, dude.
Bro.
And then like a few weeks later when he did come back to class, everyone clapped like, yeah, welcome back. And he just like, I don't know. I feel like if that was me, I'd be like, all right, guys, come on. But he kind of took it seriously. He was just like, looking around and nodding his head like, I'm so honored and humble. Like, thank you guys. I was just like, get a load of this guy. But it was crazy, dude. It was so wild. That's one of the craziest ever happened to me at school was that explosion. And I don't know, dude. Those kids getting cut. Free tuition. I don't know. I don't know what they got. There's probably some waiver that if something explodes, you don't get to sue the school. But anyway, yeah, no, that was crazy. That was my physics class experiment. It's good stuff.
Wow.
Actually,
Oh my gosh.
One of my favorite physics principles I learned I do when I'm driving, which is centripetal acceleration is velocity squared divided by radius of a circle.
Mm-hmm.
Reason I love that is because when you're driving your car and you take a sharp turn, that feeling you get is centripetal acceleration, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to slow that to have a lesser centripetal acceleration, you can either slow your car down, right, velocity, or increase the radius because that's the divisor, right?
Yep.
And so, which in simpler terms is, if you turn slower, it's less crazy for you, and if you take a wider turn, it's less crazy, right? But I just think that's the funny thing because whenever I drive, I always do that. And sometimes at night or if there's no cars around, I kind of ignore the lanes on the road.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, what's the point of using my blinker? It's not so I know where I'm going. It's so other cars
people
know where I'm going.
So if there's no one there.
Exactly. If there's no cars around, who cares about your blinker? Same thing with the lanes. The lanes aren't so I know where I'm driving.
See, I was doing that and almost hit Gus, dude.
That's so funny. Oh, yeah, the key operating word here is when there's no other cars around.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, when there's no one around, like, bro, what's the point of your blinker? But same thing with the turns and stuff. So I will like kind of drive across multiple lanes when there's no cars around because I can reduce the radius of the turn I'm going on, right? And make it so it just is a much more smooth drive.
Yeah.
Especially when Bailey, she just falls asleep in the car almost all the time, right? So I'm like, it helps her sleep when I'm driving when I just kind of take the wider turns. So, but obviously it's velocity squared over radius, so it's exponentially better to slow your car down to help with that.
The radius.
But it's still part of the equation that a wider turn helps. So that's the only thing I remember from physics was the explosion and that equation. Good stuff.
Dang, man.
Okay, so with what we talked about with success and fears and all that, what do you hope to accomplish in your life? What's a successful life going to look for you? What do you hope to accomplish?
There's a lot of things I want to accomplish. I think what will be accomplishing to me is to go to work and have fun and feel like I'm providing for my family, to come home and have great experiences with my family, and to keep learning cool things that I want to learn because they're cool.
Sounds like a great life, bro. Good stuff.
That's what I want to accomplish.
Enjoy what you do. Yeah.
To do those things.
Okay.
Because I feel like you can accomplish things, but you can also like continue to like to have visions. Like I think because you will continue to accomplish, like for instance, I wanted to learn this whole electronic thing at work, and I did it. I did it through like summer. I like spent 3 months learning this certain code that you can write to make these electronic things work. It was cool, and I felt accomplished. And then I realized, oh, that was just like the very first baby step. You know, like for me, like it's having a vision of continuing to add more things that I want to learn and do, or else I'm gonna get bored. Yeah, you know, going back to that bored thing. So, to me, I'm just like I don't want to settle on. I think accomplishments are good. It's important to appreciate the things that you're doing and accomplishing. But I think just like keep looking forward, doing things that get me excited. That's what I would say. Yeah.
What impact do you want to leave on others before you die?
I think I want to be a friend to people. If someone's going through a tough time, that they can feel like they can talk to me, especially like my family and my kids, my future kids that I have, and my wife. And I think I try to. I don't know if you care about this. I have ADD. So
I do care about that. I think this podcast is over, and I'm not going to air this. This is ridiculous.
Okay, for all those who are listening, James can make me laugh more than anyone.
Did you think I was serious? You were looking at me funny the whole
You have
time.
so much fun with that kind of stuff. Look at you.
I know.
If anyone's listening, okay, just like James can make me laugh probably more than anyone else. He'll just like take the most simplest things and somehow make them funny, and I just you just freaking make me laugh.
Well, when I make the same joke 100 times, it's sure to stick with someone. So
Yeah, exactly. See, you forget.
sorry, I cut you. So okay, so you have ADD. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't really care, but like sometimes it's hard for me to like be present in the moment because I'm just like, you know, thinking about a million different things, and not all at the same time, but like one thing at a time. And sometimes it's hard for me to like focus in on a conversation with someone, and like the older I get, the worse it gets. I'm just like my mom that way. It's like ADD's it's tough, but I'm learning actually, like the better I eat, the better like I can be in control of my self-awareness, I guess. But I want to be able, like, going back to like sometimes it's hard for me to be present with people and like be empathetic because I'm thinking about, oh, I gotta go buy this thing at the store next, you know. So just being present with people and being a listener. So
Love that. Have that kind of reputation. Well, Sam, thanks for being a person of Utah, and thanks for coming on the pod.
you're welcome. A couple years you'll have to do People in Idaho.
Oh, bro. People of Idaho.
Be the most boring show.
Cool. Well, it's good to see you, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, you too.